What's up, my brothers? In this video, we need to have a conversation about learned helplessness. I've had so many conversations with guys over the last several months where they find themselves in a situation of absolute hopelessness when it comes to wealth and women. Mostly it's those two areas, if we can be specific. It's making life-changing money that really moves the needle, really moves the bar in their life, improves their life situation, gives them more options. And also the experiences that they have with women. Most guys are, for the most part, disappointed, let down, almost feeling ripped off. And I get it. The world is an unjust place. The world is an unfair place. The world isn't easy on men. It's very tough on guys. And when it comes to the experience a lot of men have with women, when it comes to relationships, intimacy, the kinds of relationships that they're looking for with women, they often find themselves frustrated and a lot of the times, if I can be honest, confused. And it really boils down to managing expectations and the work that you're doing in the world to get the results that you're looking for. Let's deal with the money situation first, and then we'll talk about relationships, and I'll offer some reasonable and useful advice on how to remedy these problems that a lot of men are facing today. Listen, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rich Cooper. I'm an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and relationship expert. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on YouTube for well over 10 years now, and I've had many coaching clients that have helped move past this mental block. So let's talk about money first. The vast majority of men out there, almost all of us, if we're being honest, start from a place of low value, of almost no value, if we can put it that way. It's been said that one of the biggest differences between men and women is that women need to preserve their value because it's tied to their beauty and their purity, and men need to create their value because a man that has no skills, has no use in the world or on the sexual marketplace when it comes to relationships, often finds himself in a situation where he's just a cog in a wheel. He's just one of the sheep out there sort of following the movement of the herd. And I've talked about wealth creation methods before. There's a handful of them. I'll quickly review it. We're talking about professionals, so licensed professionals. So we're getting into things like doctors, lawyers, accountants, anything like that. High ticket sales. You're selling very expensive items that get paid a commission for each sale. Very expensive homes, yachts, boats, jet planes, stuff like that. We've also got the influencer component, which means essentially that you command an audience, whether you're a musician or you're some kind of an influencer. You see these gals on social media that have large audiences that make a vast fortune. That's what I'm talking about. There's of course entrepreneurs, which is my chosen path, which I would also say is probably the quickest, easiest, and fastest if you know what you're doing and you take the right steps and approaches, which I'll get into a little bit more. The guys in the STEM field, which are science, technology, engineering, math. I've talked to many guys from the FANG companies in Silicon Valley, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, stuff like that are tech leads making well into $800,000 or $900,000 a year. Some of these guys are getting compensated 7 figures. There's certain jobs that you need to aspire to aim for if you want to make life-changing money. It's not working in a 9-to-5, punching a clock, and while everything out there is needed and it fills some kind of a role, they don't all pay very well. And things are getting more expensive with inflation. The cost of food and gas and cars and housing and everything is like through the roof, especially the last few years with horrible government policies. But it is what it is. That's the reality of the world that you and I and everybody else lives in. Stuff is getting more expensive, harder to come by, more difficult to get approved for if it's, tied into some kind of a lending or a mortgage or something like that. It's not easy for guys out there. And men are competitive. We're certainly more competitive than women. I know that some women will argue, that's not true. I'm simply just as competitive, blah, blah, blah. Fine, sit down, Becky. I know you're an alpha female and you're a boss girl. More specifically talking to the guys at this point in this video. And men, you don't get anything handed to you. There's a small contingent of guys out there that'll have a silver spoon in their mouth when they're born, and that's fine. That ain't you, that ain't me. We all start from the same place, a place of worthlessness. Like I remember when I was in my 20s and all I really had was a hunk of junk car that was like $900 that I paid for that got me to and from work, and a relatively decent motorcycle that I would ride in the summer months for fun and enjoyment and take girls out on dates and stuff like that. I really didn't have a lot to my name. I mean, I was sharing a house with 4 other roommates, and that's just the way things were for me when I was a young man. But I had to figure it out. I remember there was this like shift for me where I actually got pissed off one day where I was sitting at the bus stop as a teenager waiting to take the bus to my part-time job that probably paid me something like $3.75 an hour, and I'm looking at some nice cars driving by, and I've always been a petrol head. If you guys have followed my channel and you know me, you know that's my style. And I got mad because I saw people that were just a little bit older than me, guys driving nice cars, and I got pissed off. But I didn't get pissed off at them. I didn't get mad at the world. I didn't get mad at the government. I didn't get mad at anybody else, my employer. I got mad at myself. I'm like, I want to be that guy. I want to be driving that nice car. I want to be enjoying the sun in my convertible whatever. And I think at that time it was a convertible IROC. And I'm going to have my editor put up a picture of the car that I bought, which was the car that I wanted to get at that time that I was angry at myself for not having, which I ended up buying several years later. But all of these vision board items, these BHAGs, BHAG's a word that I learned from EO and these entrepreneurs meetings where it's like, you have to set big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what BHAG stands for. And it's like, it's not exactly a moonshot. It certainly isn't a star shot, but you aim really, really high, wanting to get what it is that you're after. It doesn't necessarily need a plan, A, B, C, D, like follow these basic steps, although there are basic steps that you can follow. It just needs clarity of, I want that thing. Some people did that, and I think I did it at a younger man's age where I said, I wanted this kind of building to live in. I wanted to drive this kind of car. I wanted this kind of watch on my wrist sort of thing. And I cut out pictures of all these things, and I put them on like a vision board, and I looked at them regularly. And I was always looking for ways to make the money so that I could go and get the things that I wanted, so I wouldn't let myself down, because I knew nobody was going to hand me shit. I mean, when I was a young guy and I was paying rent to my parents at like 16, I didn't come from a wealthy household, despite what my haters like to say, oh, Rich was born with a silver spoon. My dudes, I was so cold in the wintertime when I was a kid. I remember we had this old sheepskin rug that was on the floor. My dad used to take it off the floor and put it on top of my bed, on top of my sheets, and I would sleep with like 4 or 5 different sheets so I could stay warm, because it would barely turn on the heat in the house. Like, that's the kind of childhood that I had. I didn't have a lot. I had my first job delivering newspapers at 9 years old. I had pretty much part-time jobs through my teen years, and I learned very, very quickly during those years, nobody's going to hand me anything. My parents weren't going to buy me shit. They weren't well off. I had to figure it out myself, and I did. So when it comes to your money situation, or your lack thereof, and your disappointment with your money situation, it's not your boss's fault. You're working for the wrong guy. It's not the government's fault. You've chosen the wrong path, or maybe even you live in the wrong country. It's not the school system's fault. You went through the same education system that everybody else watching this video did that I did. The school system sucks. It's mostly a waste of time. The only time I would encourage getting a professional designation is if it's going to pay very well, like, i.e. you're going to be a lawyer, i.e. you're going to be a doctor or something like that. A good buddy of mine's an ER doctor in the States. He makes close to $700,000-800,000 a year, depending on the amount of shifts that he's able to work, right? So it really depends on the paths chosen. It comes down to your choices. If you're unsatisfied when you open up your banking app and you look at the numbers on the screen and your investments and your crypto portfolio and your mutual funds and your cash balance and all those things, you have nobody to blame but the guy looking back at you in the mirror. That's the person that you need to hold accountable. It's not my fault. It's not your boss's fault. It's not that guy's fault that's driving a nicer car down the street that you want. It's none of those people's fault. The only person that can fix your money situation that you're in right now is you. And that boils down to making better choices. If you're not making the kind of money that you want, if you're not driving the kind of car that you want, if you're not living in the neighborhood or the kind of house that you want, or have the cars that you want, I'm using plural cars, it's because you haven't done the work. I've used these 3 words a zillion times on this channel. Do the work. I don't often spell out what do the work looks like, but it's dressed in overalls and it's going to be hard, and you're going to have to do it if you want to get what it is that you want, what it is that you're aiming for. Nobody's going to hand shit to you. Nobody handed anything to me. Everything that you see in this channel when I'm driving nice cars, or if you see photographs or anything on social media, they're there because I did the work to get them. I'm a little bit of an older guy maybe than some of you guys watching right now, but at some point you should take the numbers on the screen on your banking app very, very seriously. The younger the better, of course, and manage that appropriately and make decisions that are going to correlate with you making the kind of money that you want with the wealth. I'm going to get to more on how to make life-changing money towards the end of this video in a minute. Let me just pivot a little bit. Let's talk about relationships. I run a podcast channel called the Unplugged Alpha. If you're new to the channel, put a card up on the top right, go subscribe to that. And what I've noticed as far as the trend or a pattern is we get a lot of guys calling in on that show, often complaining about women, the state of women. Oh, they're all this and that and the other thing, or they're run through, or they're super promiscuous, or if they got too much baggage, or feminism, or whatever it happens to be, whatever reason it happens to be that women see you as invisible. And I've talked about this in videos before. There's 3 kinds of men out there that women see. There's the ones that they don't see at all, which are the invisible guys, which is probably about, I'm going to say 80% of guys guys out there, women just don't acknowledge your existence because you're not good looking enough, you're not valuable enough, you're too overweight or whatever it happens to be. There's certain things that are beyond your control, like height, hair loss, and stuff like that. But all of those things can be compensated in other areas. I talked about it in my book, in the Unplugged Alpha. There's 7 spokes to a high value man. If you haven't read my book, it's pinned below in the top comment. Grab it. It's $10 on Kindle, right? Get a copy and get your head squared away on what it takes to make some serious cash, and especially what women look for when it comes to attractiveness and retaining them. You can't expect a woman to throw herself at you because your mom told you when you were a young kid, just be yourself. Just be a nice guy, Billy. Just be a nice guy and be kind and open doors and be polite and all that sort of stuff. Because that stuff doesn't work. That's not what women respond positively to. You can't be lazy, fat, playing video games all the time, working as a greeter at Walmart and expect attractive women to fall in your lap, to come beating down your door. Even most guys that are successful, or even more successful than me, still have issues with women, attracting them and retaining them, even if their money's squared away, even if they're good looking. And you're right, a large percentage of women are entitled and bratty, and feminism sucks. And the social contract between men and women has changed over the years. It's become more difficult. You're working harder to get a woman that's probably half as good as what my granddad got, or your great-granddad got, sort of thing, right? Back in those days, sure, you just had to have a job screwing on a tube of toothpaste on the assembly line, and you could afford a house and a car and pay for a family, and your wife could stay home and raise the kids, and you'd come home to big warm hugs and kisses and all that sort of stuff, and life was probably better. But unless you have the know-how or the means to build a time machine to go back into that time, you're going to need to spend some time and effort and work on yourself to level yourself up, update your beliefs when it comes to what women respond positively to, if you want to be intimate with beautiful women and keep them in your circle and get the things that you want out of relationships. My dudes, I've had many conversations with guys that are far more attractive, far more valuable than me, that live lives that you just wouldn't believe. And a lot of guys, when I talk about those things in the comments, whether it's a clip or like a short reel somewhere on social media, this is a load of crap and da-da, and he doesn't do that, or Rich doesn't know what he's talking about. I've seen it firsthand with my own 2 eyes. I've seen guys that have had such incredible results with women, you wouldn't believe it. I'm not saying a woman, I'm saying women, multiple, plural. We're talking more than one, and sometimes, quite often, simultaneously. So for those guys out there that are like, oh, woe me, I'm such a victim, life sucks, it's way too hard, I can't do it, I'm just gonna move. Like, that's another movement that seems fascinating to me, is like the whole passport bro thing. You gotta go to Colombia, or you gotta go to Asia or Philippines or whatever the hell it happens to be. I'm gonna tell you right now, the grass is greener where you water and fertilize it. Hopping the fence rarely solves anything. You hop the fence with a crappy belief system, with low value, you're going to get the exact same results that you got on your side of the fence. You're just going to be standing on the other side of a fence on turf that's still brown and, weeded out and all that kind of stuff and crappy. You will get the life that you're looking for. You will get the results that you're after on the other side of work. Like I said earlier, what you're looking for is on the other side of something dressed in overalls, looking like work that you have to do on yourself. I really don't have a lot of patience for whiners and complainers and whingers and, see, women are no good. They're just it's like, yeah, a lot of them aren't any good. Just don't deal with them. You've probably watched some of my Ladies Night podcasts. We've been running it for a couple of years now. And yeah, like 80% of the gals that we have on that show, they've had a promiscuous past. They've been with a lot of guys. They've made some bad choices. Their lifestyle isn't ideal for long-term relationship. Like, they're not long-term relationship material. They're disagreeable. They're very masculine. They behave like men. Like, what do you expect? In the absence of masculine men and a lot of soft guys that have just been told, be yourself, just be a nice guy and all that sort of stuff, men have become softer. And because men have become softer, women kind of been forced to fill that void by going out there and making money and getting their own jobs and buying their houses and getting degrees. And I mean, that's just part and parcel of the economic situation that we live in. That's the sexual marketplace. That's where you're at. This is where you're at today. So if you want to stand out from the crowd, the guys that complain about, oh, hypergamy isn't fair, she's just going to trade up and she's going to get another guy, or like, do the work. Be the better guy. If you're the more handsome, more attractive guy, you will be able to attract and retain women over the long-term basis. It's going to be some work, yeah, and it's going to be some work to keep them attracted and retained in your orbit, if I can put it that way. But isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you're complaining about? Like, I have guys from all ages calling in on these podcast shows, and they're all saying the same thing, women suck. It's like, yeah, but there's a contingent of women out there that are still good. There's not as many of them. Some of them are already in relationships, but there's a contingent of women out there that are still good. And you're going to have to dig through a lot of dirt to find gold. It's an old saying that I've used many a time on this channel. You're going to have to sort through a lot of dirt to find gold. I'm not saying that to disparage women or the sexual marketplace in general, but that's the reality of it. It's the same thing with women. They'll say the exact same thing. Oh, most guys suck. They're just incompetent. They don't make enough money. And they've got their own list of grievances and complaints too. They're fat. They don't have any style. They're out of shape. Fix it. Don't cry about it. The same effort that you're spending watching more videos online about why girls don't like you or just give up, or there's a whole incel movement where guys are just calling themselves involuntarily celibate and there's nothing I can do, see, or they'll argue with people online on platforms like Twitter or X. See, there's nothing you can do, or this study, and it's like blah, 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 back and forth. And it's like, you sound like a woman, like you sound like a crybaby. Why is it that something that you want so bad, that you're obsessed with, that you talk about continuously, is just not worth the effort? I mean, if you really want it that bad, then go do the work. Otherwise, shut up and stop watching videos about why women suck and why it's unfair and how you're never going to get what it is that you want on the sexual marketplace in relationships and how you're screwed in the West. It's just as bad in Thailand. It's just as bad in Colombia. If you don't know how to deal with women, if you're fat, out of shape, incompetent, and a nerd, you're not going to be able to keep women around in places like that either. Sure, your SMV might be a little bit higher, your money might go a little bit further, you might be taller than the average guy in the Philippines or something like that, giving you a slight boost in the sexual marketplace, but you're still going to be taken advantage of by broads. They're not going to be there genuinely because they have a strong attraction and draw for you. It's going to be transactional. Oh, but Rich, it's always transactional. You know what's hilarious? The guys that have a problem for every solution. Every solution, they got a problem for it. Guys, stop being such a victim. I was talking to this guy in the gym the other day. I was in the sauna, he comes in, hey, how you doing? This and that. He's an older guy, he's probably 80 or so. And he's like, my back's sore and the hot tub's not working right now. And I got this head shaver in my hand, which I use in the shower. It's got like these rotating heads. He's like, oh, is that thing I've seen on TV? And I just said to him, I don't know, I don't watch TV. And he goes, you don't watch TV? I said, no, I don't watch TV. This is an older guy even with a victim mindset, right? And he's going on, oh, well, why don't you watch TV? It's like, because it's a waste of time. I'd rather be using that time not having marketers and messages and crap fed to me by the mainstream media convincing me to stand on dots and wear a face diaper and take an experimental jab like they did a few years ago during the scamdemic that like 80% of people fell for. I don't need that crap filling my mental headspace. I'd rather be making money. I'd rather be working on a new project, an investment, working with the guys in my community, creating good content to help guys level up. That's what I'd rather be doing, not sitting around watching TV. And then I explained to the guy that I don't watch TV. Oh, well, it's good for sports. Why? I want to watch other guys run around chasing excellence and cheer them on and yelling at the TV. Again, I could be making more money. I could be doing something. Oh, well, what's the money good for? Like, he's got a problem for every solution. Oh, what's the money good for? You can't spend it all. What happens if you make all the billions? I'm like, dude, we live in Canada. You're giving half the money to the government for crap anyway. So whatever money you're making, you got to basically have it. So yeah, I got to do a lot of work to do the things that, well, what are you going to spend on? Cars, vacations, hanging out with my friends, taking cool trips, stuff like that, boating, going on private flights and stuff. I don't understand the complaining of this like weak mindset, like this loser's mindset, like sitting around and watching TV, click, click. Like, are you okay? This is your life? And people work their entire life to pay taxes for a person they don't even like, doing a job that they don't even want to do, to buy crap, to impress people they don't even like. Like, this is what people do. And it's so many of the folks out there. That dream doesn't even exist. Like, over to my left over here, you can see the McMansions, all these giant houses. You want a nice house like that? You're gonna have to work to buy it, right? It is what it is. So this guy kept on complaining and he was talking about his back. So I made the recommendation, why don't you get yourself an inversion table if your back is so sore? But never mind the hot tub out there. I go, if you had enough money, you could go and buy a hot tub and not have to worry about their hot tub not working at the gym again. Oh, I got too much stuff around the house or in a junk in there. I go, so throw some stuff out. Again, more problems for every solution that I have. Oh, I can't throw it out because my wife won't let me and all. I'm like, who's the boss of the house? You or the wife? If your back is sore and an inversion table is a reasonable solution, I'm like, dude, I've been using one every morning for over 15 years now. I don't have any back problems because of that. It's like, the guy just complains and complains and complains. I'm like, and then he goes, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about? I go, you're the one sitting here bitching and complaining about your life, about your sore back, how you got crap all over your house, and all you're doing is sitting around watching TV. I go, look at me. Do I look like I have problems? Do you hear me complaining about any of these things? No. At this point, he starts getting upset with me. I don't care. What's he going to do? Hit me? I don't give a shit, because I say what's on my mind. That's what antifragility is, guys. You're not worried about anybody doing or saying anything to you because you just don't care. And that's where you need to get, my dudes. You need to get to the point where it's like, you've got the money that you want. You've got the kind of relationship that you want, or relationships that you want with women. You're doing what you want in life that makes you happy, and you're not letting other things beyond your control that you just have to let go bother you. Do I like the level of taxes that I pay? No, but I'm here for the time being because I got family obligations. Do I like the weather in Canada? No, so I travel in the wintertime to get the hell out of here. I surrender to what's real. The weather's bad, it's raining for 2 days straight. I take care of interior tasks. I work on another few more chapters in my next book. I create content for my channel. I script out podcasts that I'm working on. So the weather's nice. Today's a Tuesday. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm out. I'm going out for a project. You can see my bike in the back. I'm going for a ride. I'm going to go out and have some fun today. I do what I want when I want, guys. And that only comes after you do the work. You got to get out there and do the work. Now, on that note, I hope I've made it clear that the results that you're looking for, again, are dressed in overalls and are on the other side of doing the work on yourself. And you know what that is. I don't know what that is. You need to look in the mirror. Are you overweight? Lose the weight. Are you not making enough money? Get into a field of work that pays you more money. You're not happy with the tax climate, the environment, whatever. Figure out a way to maneuver out of that. Go out and create a side hustle, a business or something. You don't need a genius IQ to go out and create a business. The vast majority of entrepreneurs that I know, myself included, aren't geniuses. We just work harder than everybody else. It's not that complicated. Again, it's those 3 words, guys. Do the work. And when it's done, you reap the rewards and you have the flexibility and the freedom and the kind of lifestyle that you want and the kind of results that you want and all those things. With that all being said, here's some solutions to the problem beyond what I've already talked about in this video. There is a school community that I've built. It starts at $49 a month. It has everything that you need to know when it comes to getting results with women, how to improve your value and how to make more money, how to improve your physique and your health. And we have a team of experts on that school that also deliver weekly Zooms that are recorded if you can't make it live on things like leveling up your social presence, learning how to make money, investing, crypto, stocks, all this kinds of stuff, guys. $49 a month. I'm going to leave a pin to that school below. You should check it out if you're serious about leveling up. Honestly, whether you take that or somebody else's course or program, do something to level yourself up. Just do it. Just do the damn work. We'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day. Peace out.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate this, I'll always show up.